I'm Erica Wark, celebrity stylist and style expert. I have been in the industry for almost 15 years. And the thing I hear the most is, I want to try this, but we are constantly putting limits on ourselves of what we can wear. I am here to prove today that you can wear anything you want. It's all about choosing the right pieces and how to style them. Today I've brought a bunch of my clients with me to prove exactly that fashion is for everyone.
I am Delicia Graham. I am a money expert and financial commentator. I was attending an event and I need an outfit to go. And I couldn't find anything that was in my size. I reached out to a friend of mine and I said, I am literally driving to Detroit because I have an event to go to. It was a big gala event, 2,500 people going, and I could find nothing to wear. And she said, I know exactly who you need to meet. And so ever since then, she styled me for several events that I've gone to, several photo shoots, but also we've become good friends in the sense of two women entrepreneurs who are talking about business and trying to grow our business as well. She's been a great inspiration.
It's skirt time.
Yes, it is.
With a deep sigh.
Yes.
Tell me everything.
Okay, so I'd love to try a skirt, but being short, a little vertically challenged, a little bit more curvaceous. Sometimes skirts can be flattering, but it depends on the cut. So I'd love to see what that looks like from her perspective. Caribbean background, skirts only have two lengths. Church length, which is to the ankle, or less than church length, which we won't talk about today. But I know this is something that I've always wanted to try. Can I do it, curvaceous lady, but still stay classy?
The answer is 100% yes.
Okay.
And in fact, there are so many different skirt styles you can try.
She's a style icon. Like I know she's a dear friend, but also I love to see the creativity that she brings.
I think if we're gonna ease our way into this, I'm gonna recommend for you a mid to higher rise skirt and something that is A-line.
Even though I'm short?
Even though you're short.
Okay.
It's actually gonna do the opposite of what you think it's gonna do.
Okay.
It's gonna make you look taller and longer, and it's really gonna highlight your curves.
Okay, because we do like the curves.
We love the curves,
yes.
and we want to highlight them, and we want to celebrate them. And so it's also gonna depend what you pair with it.
True.
That is equally as important.
Okay.
Because you are petite, and skirts generally can be, especially A-line skirts, can be a lot of fabric.
She brings me out of my comfort zone. So things that she would typically put on me or try that I wouldn't typically do myself.
It's strategic. We want to make sure that we've got the right length. We also want to make sure that we have the right textures in mind. And then we also want to make sure that what we wear on top is the right fit.
So it complements.
So it complements.
Okay.
It's all about balance and proportion.
All right, Erica. You wooed me. I trust you, so let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm looking forward for her bringing me outside of my comfort zone as well.
This skirt looks like it was made for you.
I feel that way.
Good, I'm so glad.
I do feel that way. I gotta give you your props on this. This is amazing.
So listen, I went with a subtle A-line.
Yeah.
We think about A-line and we think of a trapeze or a triangle.
Yeah.
This is not what we're looking for.
Yeah.
We're looking for a subtle A-line approach, something that fits through the waist and just falls away from the body. It keeps a more flattering line, and this one in particular hits all the marks.
I feel that way.
So what I did is I based this look around this skirt. So I took inspiration from this cut here, and then I went with a color blocked turtleneck.
Love it.
That also plays on this really beautiful patchwork detail that just creates more personality and more visual interest. We want to highlight this body.
Yes.
We do not want to hide it.
Yes.
And I feel like this really highlights all the best parts of you.
Yes. This is something that I totally would not have picked out for myself, as you know, but I feel amazing in it. So thank you, Erica.
Oh my gosh, it's my pleasure. And a quick note about footwear. Listen, this look would look great even with a sneaker or a slingback pump or even a flat. But I wanted to do a boot, and I wanted to do a taller boot because, again, when you're working with a petite frame, and a skirt, we always want to think about continuing the line.
Yeah.
And so this taller boot, even though it's not perfectly color matched brown to brown, it's close enough that it almost mimics the same color.
Yeah.
I also took colors from the color blocking detail, like this really beautiful sort of burgundy brown here, and tied that down to the shade of the boot.
So it all comes together.
It all comes together. I think you look phenomenal.
Thank you, dear. I love it. This is definitely coming in my closet. And I'm going to wear it.
Yes.
I tried the A-line skirt, and I am snatched in the waist, power in the sway, and a whole new mood.
My name is Michelle Dubé, and I am the noon and 6 o'clock co-anchor at CTV News Toronto. I have known Erica, I don't know exactly how many years, but it's been sometime over the last decade. I saw her on TV. I asked her if she'd be willing to help me buy some clothes for the anchor desk, and she said yes, and it just changed my world. That's when I started to look a lot better on the news.
I'm 5'10", you're?
5'10 3/4. You're probably, I feel like we're the exact same height.
To be honest, I feel like I round up a little bit. I feel like I'm actually just under 5'10", but I just round up because I'm like, what's the difference? You feel me then?
Yes.
Pants.
I want to try the wide leg pant. I think I've been wearing skinny jeans for way too long, but part of the problem is I'm almost 5'11". I know that wide leg is out there and I have to switch from my mom's skinny jeans, but skinny jeans are such a comfort zone, and the wide leg scares me because I go to buy them and I just don't feel good in the dressing room, and I feel as though that it's a lot of material, and I also feel like it makes me look bigger, like just bigger than I am. I feel like the pants walk into the room before I do. I'm just worried that it makes my legs and my butt look bigger. And so when you're this tall and you have all this material, I feel like the pants maybe take over. I don't know, it's just one of those things I'm apprehensive about.
I feel like that is such a common problem across the board, but especially for us tall girls, because oftentimes when you go in store to shop for something, the pants are too short, because generally a regular length is actually made for someone who's 5'7", which is probably why you have been feeling frustrated when you're trying on pants in the store, because they aren't working, because they aren't the right length. So the key for you is to actually shop for your wide leg pants online.
Okay.
There are so much more variety. There are so many more styles.
I'm most looking forward to having her change my mind, because every time I'm with her, she makes me realize something that I didn't know.
The other piece is to look for a wide leg trouser or jean that is more fitted on the top and then falls away from the body towards the ankle. That's going to give you the comfort that you have with a skinny jean, where it's feeling more fitted on top, but the look of the wide leg pant.
That's what's so great about a stylist. They give you that confidence to step out of your comfort zone. I don't know if it's I have a long torso or not, but I find sometimes it will ride up where it's like, this isn't comfortable. I can't spend the whole day like this.
The other thing you want to think about when shopping for pants in general, but especially for a wide leg, is the rise.
That's what that's called.
That's what that's called.
Like, what is that?
And every rise is different depending on your body type. So if you do have a longer torso, you're actually going to want to look for a mid-rise pant as opposed to a high rise. That will eliminate that problem where you're feeling like it's like all tight up in here. Nobody wants a camel toe.
Oh gosh, no.
For someone who has a longer torso and long legs, a mid-rise is going to be your best friend, because that's going to give you better proportions no matter how you style those pants.
I've honestly always thought I have to go high-rise because there's more. That's interesting.
Mid-rise is your BFF.
Okay, wow.
It's a game changer.
Changing my whole perception. A lot of the times we don't realize what actually looks good on us. Oftentimes I'll want to try a new trend, and at night before I go to bed, I put it on, I look in the mirror, I feel so fabulous, and then the next morning I chicken out. You know, you're like, I don't think I can do this. But when you have somebody who has an eye and who can also put several things together and make a complete outfit, it really changes your mind on things. And then once you kind of have that license and you know it looks good on you, it's easy to step into that trend. I'm hopefully going to get some ideas and add some new things to my wardrobe today.
I feel like I threw you a little bit of a curveball with these pants.
I was scared at first.
Because they're not a traditional wide leg, but they achieve the same look and feel as a wide leg. We were talking earlier about pant lengths and shoes, and it can be a little bit overwhelming. Well, a barrel style or horseshoe style pant eliminates that problem entirely because they hit at the ankle. In other words, this is a great style of wide leg that can really highlight whatever style of shoe you want to wear. In this case, I obviously styled it with this really cute ankle boot, but these style of pants would also look amazing with a heel or a flat. So we went with a mid-rise.
Yeah.
Because you were talking about having a longer torso, we basically want to split that up and almost give you the illusion of even longer legs, which I know sounds kind of crazy because you're tall, but it's never a bad thing to elongate the legs, no matter how tall you are.
Keep it coming, yeah.
The other thing is I shopped these online, so I got the longer style length. That's key. Even when you're working with a cropped wide leg, like a barrel style pant, you still want to opt for the longer inseam because that's going to give you those couple of extra inches that you need for the pant to fall the way it should. I also love that I went with a mid-wash. It's a really beautiful, rich indigo blue. This is a style of denim that really goes with everything. And so I wanted to have the pants be the hero of this look. So I styled the rest of this look with some really beautiful luxe layers and textures and knits. Michelle, I think you look incredible. I know this is a style pant you probably would have never picked out for yourself, which is why I picked it, but I think you look unbelievable.
Honestly, I would have never in a million years. Even I would be scrolling right by these pants. I think my husband would be terrified if I showed them on the rack because they look kind of funky.
Yep.
But I'm telling you, they are so comfortable, so light, very lightweight, and I actually don't feel huge. And it fits perfectly. It's amazing. I love it. I actually love it. I tried the wide leg pant and I feel like my mom jean days are over.
I'm Jackie Green, and I'm a realtor with Royal LePage Signature. I met Erica at an event called Becoming Her. Erica was one of the guest panelists, and I had the opportunity of being styled by her. So when I first met her, she picked out an outfit for me. She didn't know me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe what she picked out because I would never pick that out for myself, but I was excited to see what she would do with it. And at the end, I was able to keep the outfit, and I've worn it to death.
The classic button down.
Okay.
How do you feel about it?
I really like shirts, and I have a lot of shirts, but I don't wear them.
I love shirts. I love looking at them, but I just look at them.
They literally sit in my closet. It's almost like I have this collection, like it's a museum or something.
That is probably the most common problem that people come to me with is they only wear a small percentage of their closet. In fact, you only wear about 20% of your wardrobe on average. 20%. That means 80% is just sitting there.
Oh my God.
Longingly.
So I'd like to try the Oxford button-down shirt, but I just feel like I don't know what to do with them in general.
Well, we are going to change that narrative for you. And I think there's a few key things to think about when you're shopping for the Oxford button-down. I know the oversized trend is huge, but you're petite.
Right.
So we want to make sure that we are dipping our toe into that trend, but not going all the way.
I'm just looking forward to seeing how she puts everything together because the first time I worked with her, I was blown away with what she chose for me to wear. Made me more confident to wear something that I would never pick out.
So we want to shop in the petite section.
Okay.
The reason for that being is you can still achieve that sort of oversized look and feel, but the fit will fit you properly.
Yeah.
It'll fit your body properly.
And I think that's what it is I struggle with sometimes is because I'm so petite, fit is so hard. Like I had this one seamstress that whenever I brought stuff to her, she's like, what is this, Picasso? With all the pins and, it's like a piece of art.
And that's why it's so important to shop the petite section for you, because you do have a petite frame on top of being petite.
Yeah.
And I think the other piece, when it comes to wearing the Oxford button down, is I think I want to layer it for you. We want to add a little bit more depth, a little bit more dimension, and I think that's going to add a better personal style
Yeah.
to that shirt for you that you will be able to think outside the box next time when getting dressed.
Makes sense.
She's like larger than life. She's just such a nice, simple, down to earth, but with her height and everything, she's just so beautiful and majestic. Yeah, I'm excited to see what she's gonna do with the button-down shirt on me.
Okay, because we are working with a petite frame, I wanted to make sure that we added a lot of textures and layers to add some dimension to your look.
I feel very dynamic.
Yay, I won the assignment.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to start off with an Oxford button down that was slightly oversized, but that also had a really nice contrasting print. You don't always have to do the classic white
Right.
to achieve the trend.
Yeah.
So in this case, I wanted to do something a little bit punchier.
Which I don't have. I actually don't have anything like this.
Oh my God, perfect,
Yeah.
even better. And I loved the contrast between the black and white. And so this sort of helped me style the rest of your look. I wanted to also show that you can in fact dress up an Oxford button down because I think a lot of people tend to put it in a box
Yes.
of like, well, this is only, office appropriate
Right, right.
or, oh, it's too casual. It is not too casual. I feel like we need to stop forcing our clothes into certain aspects of our life and rather switch the narrative and make the clothes work for us better.
This works for me.
This is really working for you. So what we did here is underneath, I styled this gorgeous sheer mesh black turtleneck. And we kept things really open.
Yeah.
And I did that on purpose. Because we're working with a column body type, we want to create shape. We want to create curves. And a really great way to do that is by opening up the line, opening up the lapel of the
Right.
shirt.
Yeah.
And adding that little bit of extra texture mixed with your skin makes it feel a little bit more
Because
dynamic.
I would never think of wearing my shirt this low. But this is fine.
Well, you're still covered up.
Yeah.
And if you didn't want to go all the way where you're showing a little bit of your bra, you could also put a nude or a black tank top underneath
Right.
and still achieve the same look.
Yeah, this is great.
From there, I actually wanted to just tuck in the front and leave a little bit loose on the sides to still achieve that oversized feel
Right.
that keeps things modern and
Yeah.
current. And then I went with a high-rise faux leather trouser. And this one was done in a straight cut. This was also pulled from the petite section. So as you can see here, it fits you like a glove.
Literally. I can't tell you. You just have to trust me. It feels amazing. I could sleep in this.
Oh my gosh, this is like music to my ears.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
that
like
comfortable.
every stylist wants to hear this. Yeah, well, I think what's so great about these is because we want the straight cut, it hugs the body, but it doesn't feel tight.
Right.
And this is also a style of pant that really is timeless. So something especially done in a black can be reworn again. Because we've layered it on top, it really creates a beautiful silhouette and a beautiful shape. We defined the waist by adding a belt, added a little bit of silver hardware to edge it up, and then finished it off with a classic sock boot. The reason I went with this sock boot is because we still wanted to highlight the length and cut and silhouette of the pant. This is always a great option, especially for someone petite, because you want to continue the line, which is also why I chose a black on black combination. Why this works is we're working with two different fabrics. We're working with a fabric style in the boot, this really great sort of lycra stretch fabric with the faux leather. So it still creates that dimension, that difference, while making it feel cohesive at the same time.
Right, yeah, I definitely feel together. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it.
Yay!
I tried the Oxford button down and I feel like $1,000,000.
My name is Anne-Marie Meadowake and I host the national morning show for CTV.
And Brie, I've been dressing you for like
For a really long time.
9 years?
Yes, 9 years.
Almost every day?
Yeah, almost every day.
I have known Erica for 9 years now. I like to joke that Erica's one of the only people that's seen me naked. Erica, my pharmacist, and my banker all know way too much about me.
I mean, I could probably draw you with my eyes closed,
Yeah,
quite
probably.
honestly.
Although things have changed, which is why we're here.
Yes, okay, so we were talking about skirts.
Yes.
Specifically, we're talking about fitted skirts.
Yeah.
So I want to try a fitted skirt, but I'm a little concerned it's gonna be too fitted in some areas and it may not be flattering.
It's like feminine but strong. I like that whole line. But fitted skirts are fitted and they fit everywhere. And I don't know that I want them to necessarily fit that well in certain areas. I like the look of them, but I don't know how to wear them.
I'm just not sure how to make it work for my fit.
There is a big difference between a fitted skirt and a tight skirt.
Yes, that's a good point.
We are going to go in the fitted department.
This is good. I'm comfortable in that department.
And you are 5'1".
That's very rude of you. I'm 5'2".
Okay, sorry. She's 5'2", everybody. The good thing about being petite when it comes to skirts is sky's the limit, truly. You can wear any length of skirt and it'll look amazing on you.
I trust you. I don't believe you, but
you
I
might
trust
not believe me, but you will after this, I promise.
I am looking forward to most today actually trying it and seeing how Erica will make it work. And I know that she will make it work because she always does, but I'm curious to learn some tips and some tricks from her, which I always do, on how I can wear it confidently.
The good news is, though, when we are talking about a fitted skirt, on a petite frame, we actually want to go to a longer silhouette.
Oh.
We want to go below the knee or even longer.
I'm not gonna look like a mermaid?
I promise
Okay.
you will not look like a mermaid. The key thing you want to keep in mind when shopping for a fitted skirt, the texture, the length, and the fabric. We're actually going to go for something that is a bit more of a knit because it's going to give you the fitted look without it looking tight.
Okay.
The other thing you want to consider is print. Believe it or not, print will be our best friend. Much like monochromatic dressing, wearing a print head to toe can also make you look way taller.
Okay, you know that I don't trust you yet, but I believe you. So I'm gonna try it on.
I mean, that's really been our relationship for the last 9 years.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
This is pretty par for the course.
Right. You're usually right.
I mean, usually.
She gets my style really well, but also pushes me at the same time. We've had lots of discussions of like, I want to, but, and she has taught me, you always try it on. So I always hear Erica and I always try it on.
It's fitted.
Yes.
It's not tight.
No, I like it. Like it's very fitted. Like you get the stretch, like how I like it to look when it's fitted, but it doesn't feel like it's not constricting. I feel very comfortable. I feel very confident in it.
So wait, if I'm hearing this correctly, was that I was right?
I trust you and believe you. Yeah, no, you were absolutely right. It looks great. I really
9 years in, I should hope so.
Okay, but I'm more curious about what you did up here.
Yes, okay, so you'll notice that I chose, as I mentioned, a sweater set, basically is what we've done
Which
here.
I normally wouldn't wear either.
Right, but it's all about the cut.
Yeah.
So because we're working with this really beautiful fitted skirt bottom, that's sort of like a column shape.
Yeah.
And then we're working with almost a balloon style top. This creates a really nice balance and it's proportionate to your height and your frame. Also, you look as tall as I do in this.
Well, that is a miracle. It's a miracle skirt.
All 5'1" of her.
2.
Just kidding.
5'2". But also this, like I would have just worn this long and it would have just been like a hot dog.
Right, okay, so when we are working with this style of skirt and an oversized shirt, it is so important to make sure you're still defining the waist.
Okay.
So what I did here on you is I actually tucked in the fabric of this top into the belt. Because what that's gonna do is it's gonna hold it exactly where it needs to be. And the belt, if it shows, looks great, but it doesn't have to. Essentially what I've done with this two-piece set is we've almost created a knit dress.
I was gonna say, it feels like a dress.
That's exactly
this
it.
doesn't feel weird.
No, and it shouldn't. It should be fitted exactly where it needs to be fitted. So what I did with this is I took the fabric of the shirt and I actually tucked it in all the way around, even into the back.
Okay.
That's gonna secure everything in place to the desired height that we want to really make this skirt more flattering. The other key thing here is we're working with the same print as one look. So similar to monochromatic, if you are wanting to give the illusion of height, it's always great to dress in one color head to toe. The same rules apply when it comes to print. And what I love about this print is it's sort of an oversized zebra print,
Yeah.
almost abstract,
Yeah.
but done in neutral colorways. So this is a really nice way to ease your way into this style of knit skirt.
Yes. You know that if it was up to me, this would be all black and it wouldn't fit this way. No, seriously, you took this massive sweater and you made it look fitted. You took a fitted skirt and you made it not seem too tight. It's very magical. But I like it, it's good.
Listen, I like to call myself a sorcerer, so I'm really glad that you said it was
Better
magic.
than a witch. I tried the fitted skirt. It looks better than I thought. I love how it looks. I love how it makes me feel. Erica was right. I feel taller. I feel like I have a good silhouette. I'm happy that I tried it. I'm gonna go buy one for myself.
Don't be afraid of pleats. I know, I'm saying a lot here.
I'm a Caribbean woman. This is not something that my mother would be happy with. I am Delicia Graham. I am a money expert and financial commentator.
Okay, so you want to try a wide leg trouser, but you feel you can't.
I do.
Tell me everything.
Okay, I'd love to try the wide leg pant trousers, but I'm not sure I can pull it off because I'm short. But you know, I'm a petite lady. I'd like to say vertically challenged. This is something I've always wanted to try. But you know, old school, my mom's always like, you're short, that's not for you. So now I'm thinking, let's step outside the box.
I love this for you. You're
Okay.
5'2", correct?
On a good day, yes.
Okay, so a few things you want to keep in mind when you're shopping for wide leg trousers.
Yes.
First and foremost, the best luck you're going to have, believe it or not, is online.
Okay.
Because they offer more pant lengths, including petite and tall.
Okay, good to know.
That's just going to eliminate going to the tailor because the length will be cut for you specifically.
Love it.
Petite is considered 5'4" and under.
Okay.
So that will still give you the flexibility that if you wanted to wear a heel being 5'2", you've got those 2 inches of laneway. Or you could also do this amazing styling hack that I do all the time where I do take them to the tailor.
Okay.
You leave the front pant length longer
Okay.
and crop the back by like an inch.
Ooh.
That's gonna give you that really nice, clean front line on the front
Okay.
without them dragging in the back.
I love this.
Hot tip.
Yes.
And it's
I will
like
be
20
using that.
bucks.
Yeah. Sometimes you get nervous about trying different things that look good on other folks, but then you try it on yourself, you're like, I don't know if I can do that. So I'd really want to see how that looks on me.
When in doubt,
Okay.
grab a couple of sizes. So grab the size that you normally are,
Okay.
and then go one up and one down. And then you'll return the one that doesn't work. So don't be afraid to shop online. There's just so much more variety, especially when you're looking for something specific like a wide leg as a petite. The other thing you want to think about, don't be afraid of pleats. I know, I'm saying a lot here.
I'm a Caribbean woman. This is not something that my mother would be happy with.
But a pleat
yeah.
is more of a modern cut and makes it feel more current and more fresh. It's also going to be more figure flattering, especially for a petite frame and someone who's curvier. You want to define the waist. So we're going to want to put something fitted on top so that we can balance out the proportion from the bottom. And the best way to do that is something that has a pleat element because it's easier to tuck in fabric.
Okay, I
Pleats.
trust you, so
Pleats.
we can do this. Yeah. So what I'm looking forward most today is Erica bringing me outside of my comfort zone. She always puts me in things that typically I wouldn't pull for myself or think of to put myself in, but then I try it on and I love it. So I am excited to see that and just see her creativity come to fruition.
So I didn't plan this, but we're basically wearing the same pants.
Of course.
I mean, if I love a trend, I love a trend.
There we go.
So I think we've clearly proven that a wide leg trouser is in fact made for you.
Exactly, and I'm loving it.
I chose a wide leg black trouser, but what I love about this is it's got a higher rise, a snatched waist. The belt detail actually further snatches the waist.
Yes.
You
We
got
love a snatched waist.
You love, and you are so beautiful, and you've got such beautiful curves. So this is actually a great style of silhouette to highlight that.
Yes.
I also chose this pant because it has a split pleat. Pleats are in fact our friend.
Yes.
We've been told for years to avoid them. No. We
Yeah.
want to dive all the way into the pleats.
We're getting into the pleats.
Because they are figure flattering.
Yeah.
They really, again, highlight the smaller waistline. Now, on top of that, I chose this off-the-shoulder top on purpose. It's a fine knit, so it's something that can easily be tucked in. We also tucked it in all the way around because again, when you're working with certain proportions, it's all about creating balance. And so because you are petite, we wanted to make sure that when we're doing a wide leg pant, we keep it more fitted on top. And it doesn't have to be tight fitted. In this case, we went with a relaxed fit, but the key here is to tuck it in. Now, you don't have to tuck it all the way around. Even a partial tuck would work, but we wanted to keep that snatch look.
Exactly. That's really what it's about.
And because I wanted this to feel elevated, I wanted this to feel sexy, we chose an off-the-shoulder top. Because again, it shows just a little bit of something without giving it all away.
Because we'd still like to be sophisticated.
Exactly. And then of course, I wanted to keep that sort of glam vibe going. So we went with some really beautiful gold hardware, and I even double cuffed with this really lovely bangle to accentuate the off-the-shoulder look.
I wouldn't have picked out a pleated pant for me because my mom was always, you can't wear pleats. But I feel amazing. I feel very well put together, and I love the accessories. I tried wide leg trousers, and I feel fabulous.
I'm Michelle Jobin, and I am a host, producer, and multimedia strategist.
The Oxford button down.
Yes.
You're hesitant.
I first met Erica, I would say, almost 6 years ago now, and she has been styling me for TV, and then more recently for some more personal projects that I've worked on when I've needed some fabulous things to wear. I am really hesitant, and the reason behind this is because I went to a high school where I had to wear a uniform. I wore one every day in high school as part of my uniform, so I've never been able to get out of my head that feeling of it being something that didn't necessarily feel like it was for me, but so often I see them on other people and they look great. It wasn't my choice, it wasn't part of me, so every time I put one on, whether it's with a look that has to do with suits, which is a whole nother thing for me as well, we can talk about that another day, but anytime I'm wearing an Oxford button down, I feel like it's not for me, it's not my choice, and I'm putting somebody else's.
You're being forced.
I'm being forced a little bit, or it's something that makes me look not like myself. So I want to break out of that feeling of it's not something for me and try it today.
In your brain, you've sort of treated it as a uniform.
Yes.
And like nobody wants to wear a uniform when they're not at work.
Yeah.
Or in this case, at school.
At school. So just like there's something about putting this item on that has always made me feel like I'm conforming or something like that. But I know it doesn't necessarily have to be that way, especially if you're the one who's in charge.
It certainly doesn't, and I'm so glad that you have decided to take another stab at it. Obviously, the Oxford button-down has come a long way. There are so many different styles. The one that I want you to try actually has a cinched waist.
Oh, okay, this I like.
I knew you'd like that.
I like a little bit of, you know.
We're also seeing the pendulum swing to a more fitted silhouette again. Something that feels a little bit more feminine, a little bit more elevated, and definitely modern. And I feel like all three of those words are something that you need to try to get your mind out of the sort of collegiate, preppy uniform vibe and into a new approach to the button down.
Okay, I'm willing to give it a try. Yeah, I want something that like doesn't look boxy. So I am definitely willing to give this a try.
I got you.
Okay. When it started out, the first thing that she asked me is like, is there anything you're uncomfortable wearing? Is there anything that's a no for you? Because at the time, I hadn't really worked with a stylist very much before, and I maybe didn't really have the confidence of how I wanted to look in clothes. I was much more afraid of wearing certain things, and the wonderful thing about Erica is that she has shown me over the years how I can wear so many things that I might not have picked out for myself before, and it has actually really expanded my repertoire even when I'm shopping for myself of the things that I will go to and the things that I love wearing now.
Girl, we nipped that waist.
You sure did. I love this, and it is so far away from that sort of very dated idea of what I thought I looked like in an Oxford shirt. I wouldn't even thought it.
But honestly, I totally understand where those feelings come from. We are all guilty of putting clothing items in our head in a specific space and then leaving it there until the end of time.
Yeah.
We are all guilty of that, but I think what is so important with fashion, and particularly being in our own wardrobes, in our own closets, is trying to stretch the limits of our own clothing to make it more wearable, not just for one occasion, but for many occasions. And I think that's why I love the Oxford button-down so much, is its versatility. You can dress it up, you can dress it down, you can make it casual, you can make it elevated, simply by what you pair with it. And in your case, Michelle, I really wanted to make sure we did something that cinched your waist, that made it feel more ladylike, that made it feel more feminine, but then still keeping it very modern. And so over top, I styled it with this incredible peplum inspired bustier with the zipper detail to just really further snatch that waist and make it feel even more feminine. And then of course, I wanted to keep it a little bit deconstructed. So we kept the bottom of the shirt outside of it to make it feel a little bit more relaxed, and then finish the look with a corresponding black trouser that is straight leg and not too wide leg. Because again, it's all about balance and proportion. So because we're working with these really beautiful rounded edges on top, I wanted to go the opposite way for sort of a juxtaposition, and I chose a more angular pant.
I love it so much, and I think the thing I was worried about was feeling like I'm gonna look conforming or corporate or wearing something that feels like not like me. And I feel I could wear this in a number of scenarios and I would feel professional and elegant and put together and definitely like myself.
That's the beauty of a crisp, classic button-down shirt. The opportunities to style it and make it your own are endless.
You have convinced me. I love this. Thank you. So I tried the Oxford button-down shirt and I feel far more stylish, far more like myself, far more interesting and non-conforming than I ever thought I was going to feel wearing an item of clothing like this. So I love it.
Hi, my name is Alicia Gibb. I am a doctor of audiology and I own a hearing clinic up in East Gwillimbury.
Alicia, my love, skirts.
I get so nervous when I hear the word. I can't handle it. So I want to try a skirt, but given my height, I feel really uncomfortable wearing skirts. They tend to look really big on me. I didn't know what kind of shoe to pick.
I'm so short and it's so hard to find a skirt that fits my body type, and then also even pairing it with a shoe, I have no idea what to do.
So I've known Erica since 2018. I was working and I just didn't know what to wear, and I felt really uncomfortable in clothing after having my kids.
Are you open to different lengths of skirts?
I mean, yes, if you tell me to.
She taught me how to dress for somebody who's really petite and short and curvaceous, I guess.
I get nervous because I'm wondering, is it gonna look too big, frumpy on me? Lengthwise, am I gonna have to get it hemmed because I'm so short? So it just totally makes me scared.
Being petite, skirts are actually your best friend. Here's why. You don't have to shop the petite section when it comes to skirts. The reason for that being the different variations of length. There's so much out there that you are sure to find a length that works for you. The thing you want to keep in mind is you want to look for a skirt that has a higher waistline. You want it to start higher because we want to give the illusion of longer legs. But in terms of lengths, you can do all of the above. You can do a mini skirt, you could do a midi skirt, or you could do a maxi skirt. It all depends what you style with it.
So she helped me figure out what worked for my body type, especially after having kids, and just making me feel confident as a woman again.
So I shopped this skirt in the regular section, not the petite section. So obviously on me, being 5'10", this would have hit me a little bit higher up, but it really doesn't matter because the line of the skirt still does the work. It's that perfect A-line, and I actually think this sort of in-between midi maxi length is so flattering on petite women. It's especially flattering when you style it with a boot, because what that's gonna do is it's gonna continue that line, especially when you're working with 2 different colors. We've got this really beautiful suede brown, but what I've done is I've anchored it with a black turtleneck and a black boot. So what that's gonna do is it's gonna actually trick the eye to make you look much taller, because we're continuing the line from your tippity toe all the way up to your neck.
That's what we want.
That's what we want.
More height, the better.
Exactly. And we wanted to make sure that because we're working with this really great suede-esque fabric and this much of a fabric with the skirt, we wanted to define the waist. That's really, really important when you are working in a petite frame. So we made sure to do a more fitted top, and I also accentuated it by adding this really great statement belt. That's gonna complement it. It's gonna give you that beautiful line, and overall a just really flattering aesthetic.
I absolutely love it. It looks fantastic. Feel comfortable, and if I saw this on the rack, I would never pick it just because I'd be so nervous what to pair with it, but it looks absolutely stunning.
And when in doubt, if you are going for an item that feels a little bit out of your comfort zone, pair it with pieces you are comfortable in. And what woman doesn't love a classic black turtleneck? So, in future, when you're shopping your closet, I want you to consider that. If you're going to be trying something that is out of your comfort zone, pair it with things that you are very comfortable with. What that's gonna do is it's gonna give you that confidence that you can pull it off, and the more and longer you wear it, the more comfortable you'll be in it.
Well, thank you. I've tried the mini skirt and I feel taller than ever.
My name is Sam Hewitt. I'm the Executive Vice President for Royal LePage Signature.
We're going mini skirt. I know, I see your face.
I know.
You're feeling overwhelmed.
So I want to try a mini skirt, but I'm worried I can't pull it off for quite a few reasons, actually. People always tell me that I have great legs and I should wear skirts, but
maybe it's just me, but I feel like when women hit a certain age, like, does the mini skirt look like we're trying too hard?
Never.
Okay.
But you know what? I totally understand why you think that, because first of all, I mean, listen, we could go on. We've been conditioned in society to think that we can't wear things after we hit a certain age.
Yes.
But clearly we are rewriting our own history, which I love. I think when it comes to the mini skirt, in general, no matter your age, it's really about what you pair with it.
Okay.
In a general rule, I always say, make sure you're balancing things out.
Yes.
So,
You've said that to me before.
Right? So if you're gonna be exposing a lot of skin on the bottom, you wanna make sure you're more covered up on top. I'm actually kind of doing that right now. So the same rule applies when it comes to wearing a mini skirt, and vice versa. If you were to wear like a really great wide leg trouser, you might wanna wear something more fitted on top. Those are the parameters you wanna think about when you're shopping for a mini skirt. You have incredible legs, so girl, you should be showing them off. And when the temperatures dip, a really easy way to still achieve this look is by popping on a tight and a boot.
I'm never sure if it looks like I'm gonna be trying too hard, if it looks kind of tacky, or if it's unprofessional. You can't really wear a mini skirt to work, I don't think.
What about to work? Like, I guess I always worry, like, if I'm gonna invest in a mini skirt, like, I probably only wear it like on the weekends or at nighttime, right?
Not the case. Again, it depends on what style of miniskirt you're buying and also what you're pairing with it. You absolutely can wear miniskirts to the office. The key is to make sure it's work appropriate. Styling it with a turtleneck, a knit sweater, a higher collared item. It could be layering it with a blazer. It could be styling it with a taller boot as opposed to an ankle boot to expose less skin. It's all about sort of framing your look to suit the setting.
I'm looking forward to the whole experience with Erica. I mean, I've had the chance to have her style me before, so I've definitely been in, stores with her where she'll pull something and I'm like, no, I don't want to wear that. And she's like, just try it on. So I'm really excited to go through that experience with her again. I think that I always trust, her professional opinion, and I always trust if she's gonna say to try something, it's because she knows it's gonna look good. So I'm excited for the whole thing today.
So this might not have been the mini you were thinking in your head when you were first talking about it being age appropriate.
When I first put the skirt on, I was like, woo, feels a little short. But then when you put the boots on and they come like a little bit higher, it doesn't feel like it's as much exposed.
That's exactly it. We only really are showing like 4 inches of your legs.
Yeah.
And the skin we're exposing is also covered with a black sheer tight.
Yes.
When in doubt, add a tight. even if it's a nude tight. It just gives you that extra bit of coverage that makes you feel more comfortable and more confident, especially when you're rocking a mini dress or a mini skirt. Now, I went with this sort of collegiate, kilt-inspired mini for a reason. I loved the fact that it had this extra panel that's a little bit longer than the rest of the skirt. I also loved that it had the pleating. The pleating also adds more volume and makes it feel like you have more on even when you don't. And the plaid has a couple of colors in there, but it's also mixed with neutrals. So this is also an easy style of skirt to style with the rest of your wardrobe. What I always say to my clients is when you're stepping out of your comfort zone and you're trying something different, the key to actually getting your foot outside the door, outside of your house, wearing that item that makes you feel maybe a little bit uncomfortable is by pairing it with pieces that you love and feel comfortable in, which is also why I styled this with this really beautiful knit sweater done in a neutral cream. I know you love cream and it looks so good on you.
Thank you.
So I knew that by pairing this skirt with this top, you would instantly feel more comfortable and more confident. I love also taking elements from a print and then tying it into the rest of the look to add a little bit of personality. So I took that beautiful red and I added it with your accessories. We did a statement earring and we also added that beautiful raspberry red in the bag. We got to talk about shoes for a second. When it comes to mini skirts, there are lots of different styles of footwear to try. But if you are wanting to feel a little bit more covered up, I always suggest wearing a tight and wearing a taller boot. Again, that's going to be exposing less skin. It's going to make you feel more comfortable. It also creates a really nice balance to make things feel more proportioned.
I feel great. I think this is such a good example of an Erica Wark outfit because every time I go out with you, there's things I don't want to try on. And you're like, just try it on and step outside of that comfort zone. And then when I do, I'm like, oh God, it does feel really good. And it's, once you learn sort of what you feel good at and that tip about pairing it with something you know you'll wear, then you feel like you're okay to try new things. So I actually feel really good. When you said mini skirt, I was like, oh, I don't know. But I really like this. I feel really comfortable. I'd wear this.
I also feel like this skirt is a great transitional piece because you could also style this with a classic black blouse and an oversized blazer and it would look just as chic. This is one of those pieces that I think you will have in your closet for a very long time. And I think it'll surprise you how often you go to it.
I tried the mini skirt and I feel really confident.
Hi, my name is Priya and I'm a story architect and a strategic communication coach. I empower people with their stories so that they can stand out in professional settings. So I met Erica when I was a news anchor and she was my stylist and I love the way she made me feel. So I ended up using her when I started my own business to style me for my personal branding shoot, and it was the same thing. She just always makes me feel confident by putting me in clothes that make me feel good and like the best version of myself.
Wide leg pants.
This is like the fashion mystery I need you to solve for me. So I want to try the wide leg pant, but I'm 5'2", and when I think about wide leg pants, I think about them making me look wider in the wrong areas, and also I think about them making me look shorter. I do a lot of workshops and presentations, and so I love feeling powerful and tall, and when I think about wide leg pants, I think about them doing the opposite.
Listen, it is such a common silhouette that women are scared of. Particularly my petite goddesses.
Yes. Like that is exactly the feeling I have. I'm scared. I got so used to leggings, skinny jeans. I knew how to wear them, how to style them. And now I have no idea what to do now that everything has changed and everything is wide leg.
I also feel like that's like a millennial problem too,
Yes,
in general.
yes.
As a fellow millennial, we grew up in skinny jeans and now everything is the polar opposite and it can feel overwhelming.
I'm looking forward to getting some personalized styling tips from Erica. I learned so much from following her on social media, but I'm really excited to have an outfit that she personally styles me in.
I got you. When you're thinking about shopping for wide legs, there's a few things you want to keep in mind. You are 5'2", so you definitely want to shop the petite section. The other thing you want to keep in mind, being 5'2", is you want to look for a mid to high rise. That's also going to elongate your legs and make you look taller, whether you're wearing it with a flat, a sneaker, or a heel. Last but not least, you want to think about fabric choices. You want to avoid anything that is too heavy or too thick. Instead, you want to opt for a lighter weight fabric, and that can still be in the wool category, perhaps something that's not necessarily lined. Tencel is going to be a great fabric for you because it's going to flow really beautifully, and I really think that we are going to transform the way you look at wide leg pants.
Okay, well, I'm excited. You said I'm gonna look taller and my legs are gonna look longer, so I'm sold. Sold!
You are a monochromatic goddess.
I literally would have never picked this out. And as soon as I put it on, I was like, why don't I wear this all the time?
You need to be living in these neutrals. This color palette on you is so flattering. And this is another key styling hack when you are getting dressed in the morning, particularly when you are styling wide leg pants, is to dress in a similar colorway head to toe. It doesn't have to be exact. And in fact, you'll notice that this really beautiful vest has a little bit of a piping through it in a little bit of a gray undertone, which gives a nice break in definition between the pant and the vest while still complementing it. This is going to give you the illusion of more height.
We love that. The short queens love the illusion of more height.
And then so for another really softer vibe, we added this really beautiful throw over your shoulders, again in a complementary colorway in that lovely oatmeal. But I really wanted to sort of work with these really beautiful luxe neutrals to make this feel more elevated. Now, a moment for these trousers. How do you feel in them?
I feel so good in them. And I don't feel, I mean, when I've tried on wide leg pants in the past, I just like always want to like turn, you know, like I feel like they just make me look wide in the wrong areas, but these don't do that at all. And I love the material. I love how light they are.
I think that's the key, right? We're working with a really nice Tencel fabric. So it's going to be incredibly lightweight and soft. It's also going to create almost like a cloud-like movement, which I knew would make you feel more comfortable and confident in this style of pant. The other thing too is you'll notice it's streamlined. There's not a lot of pleating going on. There's not a lot of creases or lines. It's very much a flowy style silhouette, which is a really great way to introduce yourself to the wide leg trend. Listen, we'll get you there. We'll get you in more structured pieces, but this is the place to start. I think you look incredible.
It feels great. I tried the wide leg pant and I feel like a short queen in my tall girl energy.
My name is Michelle Dubé and I am the noon and 6 o'clock co-anchor at CTV News Toronto.
Wardrobe staple, the Oxford button down, but it can feel a little boring.
I want to try the Oxford button down, a white collared shirt, but it's for some reason, time and time again, I buy them over the years and I think, ooh, I'm in news, this will look good. I work in news and I feel like collared shirts are par for the course, but every time I try to put one on, I don't think it's that flattering. I have pretty broad shoulders. It feels kind of like football player, and then with the collar. And so when I've seen myself in pictures with a collared shirt, I just don't like it.
I think it's also one of those things because you grew up in news, you're over it.
I just don't feel great in them. I don't know, I have wide shoulders, and with the collar, I just feel bigger than maybe I am.
To transition the Oxford into like your everyday life, you probably are like, I can't even go there because it's like ingrained in your brain as an anchor that it lives over there in the workspace.
And so I've never thought that they were that flattering, especially on camera.
I definitely, and I've tried to take it into the casual zone. I definitely have some in my closet, but it's one of those things where I have it, I like the idea of it, but then when I go to put it on, I go no, and I just pick something else that I know works better.
So I think for you, it's really gonna come down to thoughtful layers. I think it's all about layering the right pieces and styling it in a certain way that will be figure flattering and complement rather than feeling unflattering.
I like that idea.
We are the furthest thing from newscaster right now.
It is so cool.
way cooler than I would imagine myself being.
So you mentioned you had some Oxford button downs at home.
I do, I have several, like a linen and a cotton, yeah.
So you could easily recreate this at home. Really what I did is purposeful and thoughtful layers. So we started off with a really clean, classic rib knit tee. Then I styled the button down over top of it. And I chose this style of button down. It's oversized, but it's not too oversized, because we were talking about proportions and creating balance, and you were concerned about your shoulders. And so I wanted to make sure that I did an oversized style with you being 5'11", but not too oversized that you're feeling like a football player.
Yeah, yeah.
From there, it's all about what we layered on top. So I chose this fabulous oversized trench. We ruched the sleeves to add a little bit of dimension.
Yeah, that was surprising.
The good old elastic hack. I'm
Yeah.
actually doing it with mine right now too.
It works.
It works every time.
Yeah.
It can work for outerwear, blazers, it can work for knits, all of the things. And then you were mentioning about the broad shoulders. So what we did is we softened that by throwing a knit in this beautiful rich navy over top. That instantly makes things feel a little bit more relaxed and a little bit more feminine. From there, because we're working with all of these layers on top, I wanted to balance out by going with a really nice lighter wash jean in a straight leg. This helps create that sort of effortless feel that this outfit really embodies. And then we opted for a sneaker, but truthfully, this would look just as chic with a really great boot or even a slingback kitten heel.
I feel so put together. Like it really does. It feels casual but elevated, and I feel locked in, and I'm surprised. Like I was wondering what you were going to do to make the white colored shirt different, and the fact that we just didn't even button it up.
That's the key. So if you're wanting it to feel more relaxed and not so broad, leaving it opened up with something underneath makes it feel more chill. I think you look fantastic. This is something I could totally see you like heading off to all of your events with your kids, but also still being comfortable at the same time.
I'm going to buy all these things.
Check, 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 check.
I tried the Oxford button down and I feel like myself, but a lot more gorgeous.
Do you have something you want to try but you're not sure where to start? Comment below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your BFF.